All right, we're getting closer and closer. As you can see, our knife is looking really good. We've not peened the handle together yet. We will be disassembling the knife, throwing these pins away, and getting some new pins because we've been sanding. And now we're going to start our hand sanding. This is a little knife vise that I made. It's just simply some pipes put together. There's all kinds of YouTube videos on how to build these. There's some wood. I made mine out of oak. You can get an oak dowel rod at like Lowe's or somewhere. Split it down the middle, and then I actually put a strip in it with a milling cutter, which not everybody has one of those, but you can chisel it out. And then I just threaded these pipes, and the way it works, you got this piece down here, it tightens down. You can turn this any which way, and so you just put this in. And what's cool about it, you can turn it any which way you need it. So mine, I insulated the inside of the wooden dowel part with tape, with just painter's tape, and I'll put the blade in between the dowel pieces very carefully, and then tighten that down, tighten the base down, and then just gently tighten down on the knife. And you can see this way we can slide it out, we can spin it over this way, we can turn it this way, we can spin the knife this way, upside down, any which way we need to turn it in order for doing our hand sanding. And that's what I'm going to start right now, is hand sanding the handle material. And I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of hand sanding. It's pretty much cut and dry, but I will go through the grits. I've got some cheap sandpaper. It goes 150, 240, 320, 400. I'm already up to 220, so I'm starting with 400 grit here, and I'm going to hand sand the handle and go up to 600 grit. Then we'll disassemble the knife, cut some new pins, then we'll pin it back together, put it on the buffer, buff it up, and we'll be finished after we sharpen it. So we're getting closer. Oh man, at this point it's almost scary to have to take this knife back apart. It looks so good. But we got to take it apart and peen the pins in, cut new pins and peen it. But check that out. Look at that luster. It'll be okay. All right, this is a bench block that I made a while back. It's just for knocking pins out of stuff. And this is the part that I hate after I've got the knife this close. It looks great. We've got to knock these pins out and take it apart because they've not been peened and expanded into the liners. So we've got to take them out because they're not long enough to peen. We just had those pins in temporarily, like I said, in order to sand the knife, buff it, get it down to its dimensions, and hand sand it and all that. So here we are, and I'm going to attempt to knock these pins out without damaging the knife. So that's the trick. What I'll generally do is try to knock this back pin out right here. And if we get one out, it will take the pressure off of the whole thing. So we'll get our 3 30-seconds punch, lay it on actually I need to put it on that big hole right there, and get everything good and tight. And don't want to damage the liners. Once I get it through that much, see how we got the brass pin knocked out? I'll take a pair of pliers and this will take the pressure off of it. We don't care about this pin, so we're gonna grab it, twist it, and it comes out, and that took the spring off of it. So we got it out without damaging it. And the rest of them are pretty much, the other two will be easy to take out. So I'll do those off camera and get back with you shortly. Once we get them to the last pin, I usually just twist them like this and just kind of work them apart. What I wanted to show you up close is look how nasty the liners are on the inside. They've got buffing compound that we need to get that out of there and get it good cleaned up. Clean our spring up. Our spring's got buffing compound all over it. And there might be some burrs from where we finish the edges. So we'll fix all that and get back with you when I'm to the peening process. We're almost done. All right, this is definitely one of my favorite parts here when we do the final assembly. And a lot of people don't do it like this, but this is the way I do it. I have put my pins in. We're still flopping around loose, and I've got one pin, the one that's going into the middle. I've sharpened it, and I put some oil in it. The front one we've got tool steel in to make our bird's eye pivot, and the back one is brass, and in the middle is brass to match our brass emblem. So at this point, I'm going to place this pin in here, and I'm going to drive it in on the anvil. Get you a little close up. All right, we're a little closer to our anvil. Again, you saw me do this before. I put it right on the edge, close, and tap it in. Remember, I've got a little oil in there. Hold it steady. All right, we got a little bend in it. No need to panic. Got our pins in, we've got our tension, we've got good snap. What I'll do now is I will go over to the grinder, grind this down. Actually, I'll just cut the tip off of it. Right. And I usually leave about 30 thousandths to 40 thousandths on the end to do my peening. Come back to you in a minute for the peening. Off camera, I went over there and I just ground my pins down to where they're flat and they're sticking out just a little bit. Probably, I don't know, probably about 50 thousandths on the middle one. Anyway, we're gonna start our peening, and I start on the butt end, just like this. Make sure the brass is touching on the bottom, and we will peen. I'll flip it over. As you can see, there's a little gap, a little spread part. We're gonna fix that right now by painting it. Go to the middle. Flip it over. hard with natural material like this. It's being bone. It's tough stuff, but and all the time you're doing this, you want to check, make sure your blade's still operating, functioning. And another thing that I did off camera was, actually I didn't, I forgot. I usually put oil right into this area here, and matter of fact, let me do that off camera right quick.